Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to use this opportunity to thank Uma, for giving me the chance to actually make this presentation. I appreciate the opportunity, especially given the fact that I'll be speaking from a regulatory perspective, even though I'm not a regulator. So I consider it a real honor for you to allow me to make this presentation. Thank you very much. So I'm going to be speaking very, very quickly about the regulators' views, on the use of digital currencies in Nigeria. And we are all aware of what has happened in the last couple of weeks. The argument that has been going up and about in Nigeria regarding how and whether Nigerians should be able to trade in cryptocurrencies. We've seen what the central bank did, the Central Bank of Nigeria did. The central bank actually put out an instruction, that said that banks should not allow anybody deal in digital currencies, and that has generated a lot of furore, in terms of people arguing whether it is right or whether it is not right. I'm not here to argue whether it's right or not right. I'm going to try and speak as if I were a regulator and the rationale behind why the regulators feel that that is the right thing to do. Now, the whole world currently is filled up with multiple cryptos. We have cryptocurrencies everywhere. The ones we know of, the ones we don't know of, they are already in their thousands globally. I'm not going to speak so much about this because Mr. Akeem Oyewale has spoken to a large extent about what cryptos are, why they are as prevalent as they currently are, and what I'm going to speak to rather is why regulators are a bit scared about cryptocurrencies. Why are regulators scared about cryptocurrencies? What is the reason? We all know that cryptocurrency essentially meets one of the needs, of money, which is to serve as a means of exchange. And also we are aware that cryptocurrencies are using technology. We all believe and we all are aware globally that technology is the next big thing. We saw how we all became tech guys with the advent of COVID-19, the pandemic, and now technology actually allowed us to live through the pandemic in a very, very successful manner, I dare say. So the question now is, why are regulators scared? Why are they concerned about cryptocurrencies if it is meeting the needs of serving as a means of exchange? We've seen globally, the reasons why a number of regulators are actually banning outrightly, the use of cryptocurrencies in their countries. The reasons are what we know about. They are afraid about the loss of investment that their indigenous or their citizens are actually exposed to. We saw it when the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, was actually called up to the National Assembly and he explained the rationale, the reason why the central bank, the use of cryptocurrencies in Nigeria. The reason is because they feel Nigerians will lose a lot of their funds, will lose a lot of their investments. And if you have one or two people that have actually invested in cryptos, if they were to tell you the truth, they will tell you that they've actually lost some money, by investing in cryptos. Yes, some have gained a lot as well. So the central bank is concerned that people are going to lose a lot of their investments. The other reason why most regulators globally are afraid, about the upsurge in the usage of cryptos is the fact that it enhances money laundering. It can be used for terrorism financing. It allows the flows of illicit funds across the world without sight of the regulators, and criminal activities are enhanced. So we are not shocked or surprised, that many countries, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Canada, whether it's Iran, Jordan, most of these countries have actually come up with one regulation or the other, just stifling the growth of cryptocurrencies in their countries. And the next question is, why? Why? Yes, we heard you. You're afraid of money laundering. You want to protect your consumers, but what is the issue with you engaging with the stakeholders? We have a lot of the younger guys, interested in using cryptos, either as a means of exchange to trade. You know, they believe it is liquid enough. We also, when Mr. Adebayo made his presentation, Mr. Akeem, how Tesla invested $1.5 billion, you know, in Bitcoin, you know, and we also as well, some of the information provided by Mr. Brand Brooks, you know, a top regulator at in the United States, who said that 60 million Americans currently in one shape or the other own cryptocurrencies at the moment. So why are we worried? Cryptocurrencies in America alone grossed as high as $450 billion, you know, in 2019 alone. So why are we having this challenge? You know, we just allowing these cryptocurrencies to thrive. You know, so that's the question being posed to regulators. And what is the response that the regulators have been giving when you ask them these questions? The first thing they say is what I said earlier. You know, it is anti-system. It is an institutional currency that is not financial. You know, Brother Bashir Oshodi, when he was talking to us earlier about the need or the Sharia implications of utilizing cryptos, you know, mentioned the need for us to have a gold standard, which was abolished some years back in the US. But the fact is, in Islam, you know, in Sharia, we like to ensure that we have an asset that backs whatever transaction we're doing, you know, so that we don't engage in riba. You know, so the point is, the regulators will tell you there is no known economic backing for a crypto. So why should they allow it? You know, it is designed to be free from government manipulation. So nobody can actually sanction anybody if anything goes awry. You know, it has no authority at all. So what are our legal folks going to say about it? If I complain that someone stole my cryptos, what are the remedies that are available to me? You know, so the major thing is that the trust element isn't there. You know, the trust element just is not there. It operates a decentralized system. Yes, it is beneficial, but the cost of transaction is quite lower. But from a regulatory perspective, are these enough, you know, to actually overcome the core mandates, you know, of regulators as far as providing a stable financial currency in any country is concerned? So those are the thoughts going through the minds of regulators, you know, and not only the local guys, even on a global level. We have seen the Basel Committee actually giving statements as far back as 2019, you know, to discuss on the impact and the consequences of cryptos. We've seen the Financial Action Task Force actually confirming and actually shouting at the rooftops, you know, that they see the vulnerability of cryptocurrencies to actually be able to allow or enhance illicit transaction, which would be beyond them. I mean, we all know how Nigeria struggled. We struggled quite a lot to be able to be taken off the Financial Action Task Force list of banned countries, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Is the country ready to be put back on that list of FATF countries that will not be allowed to do some sizable financial transaction on a global basis? You know, and when you look at some of these concerns that are being raised globally, you actually tend to have pity for the functions of the regulator. You know, because the regulator, I mean, here in Nigeria, for example, they will say to you that they have 5 core mandates. 5 core mandates, of which the most important is that they must ensure monetary and price stability at all times. For an emerging country, a developing country like Nigeria, tackling that mandate of monetary and price stability is a Herculean task. You know, Dr. Bash mentioned that, you know, you can have your money in naira in your account, you know, and you can also have a pound, 100 pounds, you have 100 naira. By doing nothing, the value of the 100 pounds will just appreciate. Nigeria is a country where we are highly import dependent, where we are so dependent on what other countries are providing, are producing before we can survive. And that also has an impact on the currency value in Nigeria because we import a lot. The only thing we export is our crude oil. Our currency is not strong enough, even if you make it to be freely convertible, you know, it's going to be challenging for the regulators to actually provide the necessary regulation. Now add a layer of cryptocurrencies to that. You know, how do you expect the regulator to feel? They are burdened, especially when they see transaction sizes like this, where it is given by on Pixful, you know, that Nigeria is the second largest Bitcoin market globally, I mean, what is Nigeria producing to give us that level of good image, if I can call it that? What are we producing? Our folks are not going to the farms. We do not have industries that are converting a lot of our raw materials. Even chocolates, we are not producing in sufficient quantity, despite the fact that we have such a lot of arable land. You know, we don't have very, very active commodity exchanges. And yet we are saying that we are the second largest Bitcoin market in the world. Any central bank governor, honestly, might not be able to go to sleep well, being conscious of this fact, 566 million US dollars being traded, and Nigeria is struggling to even meet the needs of foreign investors. They are struggling to meet the FX needs of foreign investors, of our manufacturers. And yet you are throwing data at the country that you are the second largest after the United States as far as Bitcoin transactions are concerned. Honestly, I'm looking at it from a regulatory perspective, this is a source of concern. Yes, we are aware of what our vice president said, which is actually from an intellectual perspective, that perhaps the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to ban cryptos was a knee-jerk reaction. Perhaps it was a decision that was a bit of trying to kill the ants, you know, with a sledgehammer, or just a decision that was taken, pardon my language, or perhaps was just taken because of laziness in actually having the rigor to interrogate and understand the flows of cryptocurrencies. Because, hey, the cryptocurrencies have very, very useful benefits as well. You know, so from here, where do we go? You know, the area we will see is that the Central Bank of Nigeria did not just come out on the 5th of February to ban cryptos. They've been issuing notes, guidance notes, as far back as 2017. They issued a press statement in 2018. In 2021, that was just when they actually re-emphasized in it that at the moment, the Central Bank of Nigeria is not ready yet to allow digital currencies to be in place. Of course, we have to be realistic as well. Whether the central bank bans cryptocurrencies or not, cryptocurrencies are here to stay. That is a reality that we are facing in the financial system. That is a reality I will encourage each and every one of us to understand. And that is a reality that, whether we like it or not, the central bank will turn around, you know, to agree to in the near future. And we're already seeing actions from them in that light. You know, but you have some major investors like Warren Buffett that will still tell you that, hey, cryptocurrencies is not under the supervision of anybody, not the United States Federal Reserve, neither any other central bank, you know, and he believes that that currency market will implode at one point or the other. Yes, it might implode, but the fact is, the reality is we just need to put cryptos under appropriate control. But at the moment, today, the Central Bank of Nigeria has adopted the fact that cryptocurrencies are not legal tenders as far as Nigeria is concerned. So anybody that does it, you are doing it at your own risk. You know, and if we review the summary of the notes that Central Bank put out, you know, they actually emphasize to the entities that they regulate, the banks in Nigeria, you know, that no bank must use, hold, trade, or transact in virtual currencies. So the central bank controls the banks. They've given the banks these instructions: do not engage in virtual currencies. They cannot control me, they cannot control you. You can deal on your own, but know that if you have to pass through a financial institution in Nigeria, then you are stopped from doing so. And they are concerned about any suspicious transactions, and these must be reported immediately to the NFIU by the respective banks or financial institutions that are involved. You know, but yes, we are seeing the fact that there are challenges. The central bank is going this way, the whole world is going that way. Where is the middle ground? Especially with the informed commentary by the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I believe, and just like Mr. Akeem Oyewale said earlier, the central bank governor is conscious of the fact that this is a temporary action, and the central bank has actually given room, you know, for further engagement with all stakeholders in Nigeria. You know, a lot of meetings are going on with all the key financial regulators, whether it is FRSEC, whether it's all the whether it's the blockchain committee, whether it's this SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, which actually has a different view as far as digital technology, blockchain is concerned. So we believe right now that the central bank is conscious of the fact that cryptos are here to stay, and they are working very, very closely with the academia and all the necessary regulators to just put a bit of regulatory framework around how cryptos will be used. We are also very, very happy that the central bank is looking at even launching their own digital currency to be called the naira coin, in the nearest future. And we believe that if all of this is done, if continuous engagement is done, with all the necessary parties, the IT folks, the Soroseke generation, the financial, the EFCC, the FATF, and we are conscious of the fact that this is a real thing that we need to actually align with. The incoming central bank governor of the United States, the Federal Reserve SEC chair, the SEC chair nominee, Mr. Gary Gensler, actually accepted, when he was being engaged at the American Senate, Congress, that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are transforming global finance, and anything that is transforming the financial landscape of the world is something that requires attention, and is an innovation that is actually going to allow enhancements in how trades are done. The only thing that is required is for the regulators to catch up with it and provide that necessary net, of protection to ensure investors do not have their assets, lost at any time in the future. So to conclude, I dare say that digital currencies are here to stay. We are all conscious of the fact that the regulators are afraid that they may lose control of money and lose control of their mandates. However, the regulators are reasonable enough. They have enough sense of awareness to realize that they cannot do away with cryptos. The level at which it is now is like a moving train. It is difficult for you to stop it. So you just have to find a way to board on the train in the nearest future. So the regulators are engaging with each other. They're engaging with IT personnel. Maybe the pace of engagement needs to increase and needs to be enhanced. But I believe that they will come around in the nearest future and agree that these are the rules for cryptos and these are how it should be deployed. My appeal to everybody on this seminar and on this webinar is, please, let us not just get dampened with the regulations of the Central Bank of Nigeria right now. Let us use this opportunity to enhance our knowledge, educate ourselves on the value and the way cryptocurrencies and digital currencies will be part of us, part of our nature, and part of our system in the nearest future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.